Good morning, students of class 9. You are welcome back to the online classes now. So we are doing French Revolution in history, and we have reached 3.0, and we are on the last portion of this 3.0, and in our next class we'll do 3.1, the Reign of Terror. So now here 3.0, the France abolishes. Abolish means remove, the removal of monarchy, king, and becomes republic. How France become republic? What process they followed? We'll talk about that. There are altogether 6 points over here. In the summer morning, it was a summer month, summer morning of 10th August 1792. Remember this date, 10th August 1792. What happened? The Jacobins. We have, in our previous class, we have talked about Jacobin clubs that was formed in France, not only in France, all over Europe. So Jacobins stormed, attacked the palace of the Tuileries. The palace was attacked, massacred the king's guards. Massacred means killed. The king's guards were killed, and they entered the palace. Jacobins, the member of the Jacobins, they entered the palace and held the king hostage for several hours. For several hours, the king was held hostage. He was not allowed to move out from the palace. The Jacobins surrounded the palace and held him hostage. Later, afterwards, the assembly, National Assembly, the assembly voted. They began to vote to imprison the royal family. The royal family, the king, queen and his children, whoever is there in the palace. Royal family was imprisoned. Before that, the National Assembly voted. So, elections were held after that. The king was put behind bars. Elections were held from now on. From now on, elections were held, and all men of 21 and above. The men, regardless of rich or poor or wealth or poverty, whatever it is, all men of 21 and above were given the right to vote from there onward. The king was held hostage, and after that, after voting, he was imprisoned. The newly elected assembly. Now, before also we have talked about National Assembly. They were not elected. They were chosen just like that. Orally they were chosen and sent to the Versailles. But here now, after the king was imprisoned, a newly elected assembly was called the convention. Now here you will be asked, what do you mean by convention? The newly elected government or assembly was called the convention after the king was imprisoned by the Jacobins. And after this, new assembly was formed after the voting. Voting rights were given to the people, especially men of 21 above and above 21 and above. So they were given voting rights, and people elected their representatives, and assembly was created, formed, and that was called convention. And after that, on 21st September, here is August, here is September. On 21st September 1792, it abolished monarchy. Remember this. It abolished, removed monarchy and declared France a republic. So this point remember. On 21st September 1792, France was declared a republic. No more monarchy. The king was imprisoned. Now he is waiting for the trial. Louis XVI was sentenced to death. He was sentenced. He was given the punishment. Sentenced to death by a court on charge of treason. Treason means betrayal of the government, betrayal of the people, betrayal of the country. He betrayed the people. He cheated the people. He oppressed the people and harassed the people because of the king. So for that, He was charged of treason and he was sentenced to death. Now he was seen here on 21st January. Here is September. 21st September 1792 it was declared a republic, and after September, October, November, December, January, February, after 5 months, on 21st January, there is 21st September, here is 21st January. You see there. 21st January 1793, he was executed publicly. He was brought out in the square, in the city, in the square, and he was gully-torn. He was executed publicly at the place. The name of the place is De la Concorde. It's a name, French name. It's a name of a place. Here, De la Concorde is the name of a place. Here, the king was brought and he was executed, gully-torn. His head was cut off publicly in front of all the people. Public view. In front of the public, his head was cut off. He was gully-torn. Yeah, head was cut off, executed publicly on 21st January 1793. The queen met with the same fate, same punishment. The queen was also gully-turned. Her head was cut off in the gully-turn shortly afterwards. Not on the same day, but after a few months, the queen was also gully-turned. The king and the queen were killed. Their heads were chopped off. So they were gully-turned and France became a republic. Now Jacobins became the very important political group here. Now the leader of the Jacobins, Robespierre, now he will be the leader. Now we'll talk about, to be continued, the reign of terror. Here Jacobins head, the leader of the Jacobins, that is Robespierre, he will rule the country. Now he will become the leader. Now reign of terror. Now we'll talk about in our next class. That's all for today. So stay safe and go through online portal every day. You go through the date wise, then you'll come to know. It will be easy for you. So that's all for today. We'll meet in the next class and continue our lesson in history, the reign of terror. By reign of terror, and it is why it is called a reign of rule. Reign means rule, terror means cough, that is fear. People were very much afraid. So why? Now let's see what happens, the event that unfolds later on. So that's all for today. Thank you for watching.